And now, Richard Thomas.
Is it a miracle when an animal does something so out of the ordinary that it's almost as if it possessed some sort of human intelligence? Some might say, no, animals are capable of many unusual and unexpected things. Of course, these people probably aren't alive today because of the quick thinking of a four-legged beast, unlike the man you're about to meet, a man who definitely believes in miracles. Nestled along the western shore of Great Britain is the country of Wales, home of fabled kings and queens. Its rolling hills and deep valleys are dotted with the ruins of history and legend. It's also the home of a modern-day legend, 57-year-old Don Mottram. Don's a cattle rancher. Some of his herd have been with him for over 30 years, and all of them are his friends.
Yeah, most of the cows have got names, and they will come to their names. You know, as I say, a lot of them have been with us for donkey's years.
The oldest and leader of the herd was a cow named Daisy.
If they were, say, 3 fields away, I could stand on the bank, whistle, and Daisy would bring the herd in. You know, it saves you walking miles. She was a cantankerous old girl. She was quirky, but I could do anything with her, you know. Sam!
One of Don's secrets in handling his cattle is bread. Each week, the local baker delivers fresh loaves to the farm. And while they're still warm, Don treats his herd to a few bites of their favorite snack. But one day in 1996, the peaceful atmosphere was interrupted by the arrival of a bull brought in from a neighboring farm.
The bull was running with the cows because a lot of them were in season, ready to mate. When they brought the animal to the farm, they gave no indication of its nature, only in so much as they said, don't let children, dogs, or women into the field. Well, I assumed from that I could go into the field, which I did. It's just this particular day, his trolley went off the rails, and he decided to have me.
It happened while Don was trying to separate an injured calf from the group.
I spotted the calf and started gently ushering it along so I could catch it.
Don was focused on the calf, and the noise from his bike's engine drowned out all the warning sounds of what was about to happen. The 3,500-pound animal suddenly went out of control and charged.
The next thing I remember, the bull was on top of me. He wasn't goring me, but he was stamping on me with his feet. He stamped right in the middle of my chest, my right shoulder, and he stamped on the side of my face, so that all the side of my face was broken.
Don's screams drew the attention of Daisy, who, sensing that something was wrong, began calling the rest of the herd to follow her. What happened next can only be described as a miracle.
At that point, I noticed that the cows were circling me, and I could hear the bull ranting and raving.
For the next hour and a half, the circle of 30 cows held the angry bull at bay, protecting their injured master from certain death.
After a while, I managed to crawl out of that field, and the cows came with me every step of the way.
The cows continued to shield him from the angry bull, but his ordeal was far from over. No one else was on the ranch that day. His wife was working, and the nearest neighbor was miles away. Don was not about to give up. He'd survived a savage beating, and so he kept on crawling home. Miraculously, Don managed to reach his phone and dialed emergency, but his jaw was so badly broken that the operator couldn't understand who he was or where he was calling from.
I then called one of my neighbors who recognized my accent, who managed to get an ambulance for me.
While Don was being transported to the nearest hospital, the neighbor went to fetch Don's wife, Carrie.
Carrie. I was at work when it happened, and a neighbour came to tell me.
Don's been hurt, we better come quick.
I was in hospital, and I was very, very afraid.
On the way to the hospital, the paramedics were shocked by the severity of Don's injuries. He was rushed into intensive care with a fractured jaw, broken ribs, shoulder, and leg, as well as massive internal damage. Just a few more blows by the savage beast, and Don would have died.
When I spoke to the doctor, he said that Don was very, very lucky to be alive.
But there was more than luck at work that day, as veterinarian Hugh Davies can attest.
Quite a lot of fatalities have been caused by bulls being aggressive. A bull is a bull. It doesn't matter how soft you think he is.
But Don survived the savage attack thanks to the intervention of Daisy and the miraculous circle of protection that she provided him.
She called the others around Don. I think if they hadn't have gone round him, you know, he wouldn't have been here now.
He did have his injuries. He got over those. And it was a miracle. There's no doubt about that.
Today, Don is back running his ranch by himself. Although he will never fully recover from the injuries inflicted by the bull, he continues to have a special relationship with his animals and is teaching his grandchildren to have the same respect for other living things, a respect that ultimately saved his life.
I think it was just because I've been kind to the animals. They know me. I don't mistreat them. I go out with them every day and give them a scratch or a piece of bread or whatever. And I think they were just repaying the kindness, just simple kindness.